New Holdings, better known as Nubank, is one of the largest digital banking and fintech companies in Latin America. The stock has been sliding for a few months now, and today it gapped down. But what does this mean if you bought in any time in the last 8 months? Is it time to jump out, buy more, or simply wait it out? Most retail investors study charts and indicators, and that's a great strategy, but we take a different approach here. We're going to analyze Nubank through the lens of institutional investors by zooming in on where the smart money is and who is in control of the supply. See, on Wall Street, smart money calls it feeding the chickens. That's when institutional investors accumulate stock early and then distribute it back to retail investors for profit, leaving them holding the bag. From what I see, institutional investors have been accumulating this stock, and hopefully, you are not a chicken waiting to be fed. If you are invested in this stock, stay tuned as we do a deep dive analysis and shed light on where the smart money is. And if you are still on the fence about investing in it, you might find it is the bargain that you are looking for. Quick note before we start. If you find this video helpful, we kindly ask you to click like and subscribe. We're a young channel and truly appreciate your support as we analyze popular stocks every day. Also, feel free to tell us what you think of Nubank in the comments below. And with that, let's kick it off. Nubank operates mainly in Brazil, Mexico, and Colombia, offering banking services entirely through a mobile app instead of traditional physical bank branches. Its businesses is built around making banking simpler and cheaper for consumers, especially people who were underserved by traditional banks. What makes Nubank different is its technology first approach. Instead of operating expensive branch networks like traditional banks, Nubank runs mostly through its app and uses data analytics and AI driven underwriting to manage lending and customer growth. This allows the company to scale faster and operate at lower cost than many legacy banks. So the first stop in analyzing Nubank is the bottom finder's supply and demand charts. We're looking at the demand oscillator, which typically travels between 40 and 60. In Nubank's case, we do see that demand is currently at 34 now. So this is rather a little bit lower than expected. It is below the 40 line, so I would expect it to turn back up. But there is something going on with the chart that has pushed the price down fast and furiously, and with even a gap today. So I don't expect it to turn back up, but there is a potential that it may just start going sideways, and that's sort of my expectation. But turning on the institutional indicator, we do see that the institutions have been essentially accumulating the supply starting from the top here and on the way down. This is what we call a markdown period. So, this is a period where they're not necessarily buying and accumulating through this phase, although they may be just a little bit. However, they're focused mainly on pushing the price down to get it to a particular price zone, if you will. Based on the support that we currently have at about 1190 or so, this seems to have gotten to that point, and I think they wanted it to get there very quickly, and that's what sort of pushed the demand oscillator down above or below its normal range. Now, turning on the retail investors, what's interesting in this is that the retail investors don't seem to be coming off of their position. So, my suspicion is that this is potentially the reason as to why there was a gap today. They're really looking to scare people out of their positions, and they're not coming undone. I think this was the reason why this was excessive here in the past 2 weeks. And then we had a major drop here, which coincides with this other gap. And we'll see this in a bigger chart. But we do see the institutional investors are steadily accumulating or going to the accumulation phase. We do see the retail investors are little by little coming off of their positions, but they're still holding. And then we see the demand coming down a little bit. Now, looking at the volume balance, this is essentially the net balance of volume for inflows and outflows. Anything below is institutions holding the stock, anything above is retail investors holding the stock. And it's quite even, frankly, and this does not really make for uh, a solid case to push the price up and start selling into it because they're not as equipped or they don't have the supply they need in order to make this a profitable move. And I suspect this is where they're going next, and that is a phase of accumulation. And when we study the charts, we'll explain a little bit further as to how they're going to get that accumulation. Now, getting to the charts, this is today's gap was very interesting, and it's this right here. So it looks like yesterday it closed somewhere around 12.91, and today it just gapped down about a dollar. But a dollar at this rate is about 10% or so, a little bit less than 10%. So I'm sure it scared quite a few people, and it's not fun to wake up to this kind of activity. And but nonetheless, it's there. So I'm going to explain, what I think is happened now. To some of you, it is certainly a buying opportunity, but to many of you, the reason you're probably watching this video is to try to find some sort of good news in all this. And I think there is, in some sense, the damage is done. But here's what I'm looking at. You see this gap here? This gap runs very similar to this gap right here. These gaps are not a coincidence. What they have done is they have, with the gap that they did today, they have locked everybody that has bought in the past 8 months. They have locked them all out. They trapped them essentially. So if you're long anywhere in here, then you woke up today and you found you were losing money. That's the bottom line. So, um, and this is classic play by market makers in trying to squeeze the retail investors out of their position, and that is how they get the supply. So when I was said earlier about how they're going to go about their accumulation, it is exactly this. So what I'm expecting this stock to do is essentially just go sideways for probably maybe about a month or so, whatever it takes in order to get some of these people or retail investors that have bought in this area to come off of their position. And that takes us back to the chart, this gray line right here. And that is what's going to bring that gray line, which is the retail investors that are holding. So they're going to look to bleed out. And this is the whole saying how markets can stay irrational a lot longer than you can stay solvent. This is it right here. This is the whole premise to that. So the banks essentially will just go sideways. Market makers will just take it sideways. And that is, we mentioned Morgan Stanley's in there, and I'm sure there's some other ones in there, but they will just let it go sideways, kind of bounce around there, around the bottom, and go through a phase of accumulation. If you're not familiar with accumulation phase, study up on Wyckoff method. That will explain what the accumulation phase. This was the markdown phase. This is the markup phase. And over here, when it went sideways, they call that distribution. So right now, it's going to go through the accumulation phase and wash anyone here that could, basically cannot withstand the pain of just watching a negative balance for so long. Now, when we go to the weekly, and this is where if you are part of the group that is trapped in that cluster, you have bought in the past 8 to 10 months, and you're looking for some sort of resolution, this is right here, the 1190 mark or so is provides a solid support for where it should bounce. Okay. It shouldn't dip below that. It may dip maybe a few pennies, maybe 1185, but it shouldn't dip below that. Now, if it does get anywhere and it breaks lower than any of these previous ones, then you should think about at this point liquidating and just getting out of this and taking your loss and moving on, because the next stop after that, you're looking at about $9. Um, if you bought here at this point, you got a decision to make. You just take your loss and go invest it someplace else, or just sit tight and watch that 1190, 1180 mark support. And if it kind of hangs in there, it's just going to go sideways for a while. And at some point, it's going to come back up. It's not, this is a big bank. They're playing the game because they're going to put money into all these institutional investors' pockets. It is just normal protocol. So it's just a wait game, but it may take some time. Otherwise, if you're feeling the pain just at this point, cut your losses, move on. Now, if you have not invested and you're looking to invest, going back to the daily, this is a good entry point for you. This is a place where, they have already marked down. They hit a specific support, and you could see here the green bars in the volume. So the volume ticked up. So down here, they're finding value. There is a price zone here, and I expect it to bounce up and down through here. So it'll probably fill this gap in. So it may be from 12 to about 14 or so, just kind of go sideways for a month, maybe two, before it heads north. So I think there is an opportunity here. As we saw also going back to the supply and demand charts, that once this retail investors sort of come off their position, then they're going to hike the price up and start to sell it again. Now, getting the price up, it's not one that you can expect it to go to the moon because it has a 3.6 billion share float, but it certainly can get up there, a couple of dollars up there. I think the takeaway from this is that your investment is safe because you're dealing with a big bank with lots of institutional investors. All right, so in our analysis, we do like to analyze the news because the news is what the messaging that institutional investors are putting in the ether. This is how they send what they want us to think about this particular stock. So we have Zach Investment Research recently questioned whether investors should jump into Nubank ahead of earnings, highlighting Wall Street's focus on customers. I think this was a few days older. Profitable trends and whether the fintech giant could continue outperforming expectations. The tone was cautiously optimistic heading into the report, and I suspect the report was today. Seeking Alpha published coverage of Nubank Q1 2026 earnings presentation, where management emphasized strong revenue growth, expanding margins, and continued growth across Brazil and Mexico. Investors were especially focused on lending. TradingView reported that analysts lowered Nubank's average. None of this. I mean, none of this even makes any has any impact. Okay, I'm sorry I'm cutting this short, but it's just really a waste of time. They're playing with this stock and they gapped it down. They got it now, and they're gonna sit there and wait it out and fleece everyone out. It's just they're trying to get the retail investors to come off of their position, and that's where it's at. None of this really makes any has any relevance to what they're trying to do. But it almost like creates a dramatic effect or some sort of uh, a narrative, if you will, so that we could all just kind of march to the same beat. The overall vibe from Wall Street right now is long term investors still seem interested in the growth story, but traders are becoming more sensitive to credit risk and profitability trends going forward. Like, what the hell is that? I mean, it boggles the mind. Traders are becoming more sensitive to credit risk and profitability trends going forward. I just to me it's just nonsense. But that's me. This is why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's just I see things differently. All right, so this brings us to what Bottom Finders thinks of Nubank. Now, um, this is a classic move by institutional investors. We are left to think that price movement is dependent on earnings and news, and other than seismic activities, other than some atrocious event or comet hitting Earth, or the banking system falls through, or something seismic like that. Uh, the price movement is manipulated by market makers. I know it sounds more like a conspiracy theory, but it's not. Uh, I you can go and you can study. Don't study the charts and the technicals and the MACDs and RSIs and those kind of things. Those things are there to keep you busy. The bottom line here is that it's supply and demand, consumer, merchant and consumer, buyers and sellers. It is nothing more than that. And uh, what you get from this is they now have brought the price down. They need to accumulate supply so that they can push the price back up. sell it to you, and then do it over again and again. This is accumulation and distribution. You can go and research this and study it. As I mentioned earlier, Wyckoff method will teach you this. So this is just a classic move. And with today's gap down, it is meant to cause pain for the retail investors, get them thinking twice about this stock, scare them out of their position so that institutional investors can continue to accumulate. Nothing more than that. Uh, Now, for you, you have to understand that when you sell, they snatch up this supply. And when they sell, you are snatching up that supply. So when you buy, they sell. And when you sell, they buy. What you have to do is train yourself to think the other way. When they buy, you buy. And when they sell, you sell. Now, it's difficult, but it takes time and you will eventually get there and you will think like that. This is the only way that you are going to win in trading, because what happens is that when they push that price up and everyone comes running, this is why they call it feeding the chickens. What they're doing, it's like a farmer walking out with a bale of seeds for the chickens and they all come running. It is no different. So when they raise the price up, it triggers all kinds of alarms. The stock shows up on these different websites through volumes and highest activity, and starts coming up in the news and this and that, and we all get googly moogly eyes and we all run towards there. And what we're doing is we're cashing them out. So we buy at the top, they come out, and then after they're done selling to us, they drop the price. They scare us out of our position, and then we get frightened. We're over here fighting over pennies, and they're making two, three, 400% on the dollar. It's just the way it is. So you have to think like that. And this is a classic case with Nubank, what they're doing. So when they dropped it down, they're shaking out the retail investors. I'm sorry if you bought from the past 8 months and you're locked in. You could either ride it out or you can purchase more, average down. That's not really a good strategy. And if you haven't bought, and if you're still looking at it at a clean slate, then this is probably a good entry. Now, it might gyrate a dollar up, a dollar down, but that is the accumulation band. And that is where they're going to continue to stay for a month or two. And then up we go. So we hope that this video does give you insight on where the smart money is. Be sure to leave a comment on where you stand with this stock. Your experience might help others in deciding your next move. Also, be sure to subscribe and give this video a like. I mean, we truly appreciate your support. Until the next video, trade smart and be patient for the right deal to come along. Adios.